Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to have a discussion about Walt Disney World and food. Now, this particular is going to be from the point of view of somebody who has recently had bariatric surgery / a fat man. So we're going to talk about taste and textures and whether or not you should get it, whether or not it's worth the money, on top of the fact that I'm going to throw in from a bariatric patient's point of view, if that particular food item is worth it at Walt Disney World. So, first up on the list, in our last trip out to Animal Kingdom, there is the Yak and Yeti, and then there's a Yak and Yeti quick service, and I believe that's the name of it. So Yak and Yeti's here, Yak and Yeti quick service is right here. It's a walk up. We went, the kids had a chicken nugget tender meal, which their chicken nugget tenders aren't heavily breaded. So if you're on if you've had bariatric surgery and you're not looking for a lot of carbs but a lot of protein, you can order their kids chicken tender meal because they don't really ask you who it's for. I know it says for kids under a certain age, but they don't ask you about that. But my wife, knowing what I can and can't eat, she ordered, it's not on the big menu, it was on a side menu, but it was called the rib tips. And basically, if you know the difference between a short rib and a St. Louis rib, it's that top of the rib. So a short rib is just the bottom and a St. Louis is the whole thing. They basically whack the top of the rib off, and I'm pretty sure it's the ribs that they use in Flame Tree Barbecue in near Dinosaur Land. So this is the tops of them, and of course it's the rib meat that's got the little white bones and cartilage in it. From what I can tell, they basically just kind of braise them or broil them in a kind of like an Asian barbecue sauce. It's very peppery, a little sweet. It looks greasy because, again, there's a lot of fat to rib tips. But I was able to eat it just fine. There's plenty of meat to it. In fact, I ate some of that and split it with my wife because it did come with French fries, and I ate like 2 of those, and I was like, you guys eat the rest of these, and I ate most of the rib tips. Didn't even get all the way through all of them. So that from the Yak and Yeti, from a bariatric standpoint, I believe it run us about $10. That's great. You're probably going to end up splitting it with somebody because it is French fries and rib tips. And it's definitely worth the price. It was definitely delicious, and it filled me up, and it's high in protein from the meat. So that's awesome. Hoping to try some other stuff around the park. The next thing that we tried in Animal Kingdom, I have reviewed it and I've showed it, but those in the Satuli Canteen, they have the beef bowl, the fish bowl, the chicken bowl, and basically it's these bowls, and you can either order it with rice, lettuce, quinoa, and vegetables, or just steamed vegetables, I believe. Those are an excellent source of protein because they do fish, and they do beef, and they do chicken. So really whatever protein you prefer. It's a grilled beef, it's grilled chicken, and I ordered mine over the vegetables, and it's basically a salad. And I got the creamy dressing. I can't remember what the exact name of it is, but it was delicious. I had to split that with Kristen as well. I couldn't eat the whole thing. I did try the Hamburger Pods that come from there. I will tell you, it's a lot of bread, though. There's a lot of carbs in it. So the Hamburger Pods aren't great for somebody who's had bariatric surgery. They're delicious. Do not get me wrong. They're delicious. But they're not really great for you if you've had bariatric surgery because you're going to get a lot of carbs in and not a lot of protein. Whereas the bowl, you're going to get a lot of protein and then vegetables. Again, you're going to split it with somebody. I believe that ran us about $14 for the bowl. And we split it, and we're perfectly happy, to both of us, and she hasn't had bariatric surgery. So again, it's a single person portion, or for us, it split between the 2 of us, and we were perfectly fine. The last thing I'm going to review in this video, and this is probably going to upset a few people, but we ended up in the Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom. Now, according to the app, it was a individual serving style place. You basically could buy, you know, if she wanted this food, they wanted this food, and it was separate. Now, when they seated us, that's when we found out it was an all-you-can-eat buffet style. And we weren't made aware of that. And like I said, the app told me it was like an individual service meal. So I ended up not eating because I talked to somebody previously at one of the other all-you-can-eat restaurants, and they basically said it doesn't matter if you've had bariatric surgery or not, you're distinguished as an adult, so they charge you as an adult. I'm not even going to eat as much as most kids, so it doesn't make sense for me to pay that kind of money. So we went in, sat down, went ahead and had Kristen and the kids eat. I didn't eat, which was perfectly fine. I wasn't hungry at the time anyways. And I had a protein bar in my backpack for protein, so it wasn't a big deal. So they did eat. So this is an all-you-can-eat meal. They start you off with a salad. Then they bring you meat. They brought out a roast, what they called pork chops, but I believe it's where the rib meets the pork loin, and it was just connected. So it wasn't necessarily a pork chop. It was more of a pork rib. Turkey breast, and I want to say there was another meat, but I might be wrong. Maybe it was just those three. Then the sides were macaroni and cheese, dressing or stuffing, wherever you're from, green beans, mashed potatoes, gravy, cranberry chutney, and at the very end they bring you out, it's basically a ooey gooey cookie with ice cream on top. The salad looked great. They enjoyed the salad. The actual pot roast looked dry. I mean, it looked like you could have sopped up water with it. Kristen said it was delicious though, so based on appearance it didn't look that great. It did look really dry, but she said it was amazing. The kids really liked it. The turkey they didn't really touch. None of them are big turkey fans. I'm the turkey fan. And they did say the pork chop was really good. The green beans they said were okay. And the mashed potatoes my wife said were really, really good. Here's the funniest thing about this though. I cook a lot, so I can look at food and tell you usually how it's been prepared or where it's from. The macaroni and cheese is boxed macaroni and cheese. It's Kraft or Velveeta. It's something. And my wife said it tasted like plastic. She said it wasn't good at all. And then the other thing, the stuffing, that's stovetop stuffing. Stovetop stuffing has a very unique smell and look to it, and that is not homemade stuffing. It's from a bag, and they're basically just pouring hot liquid on it and stirring it up till it fluffs up enough, probably a stock of some kind. And then the gravy was like canned gravy. So for $40 for an adult and $20 per kid, I kind of expect the food not to look like or smell like or taste like it came from a box. And that's what happened. So Liberty Tree Tavern is an all-you-can-eat family-style meal with no character meet and greets. So you could take that $40 and go to Epcot and do the all-you-can-eat style food over there inside the Land Pavilion, and you'll get to meet Mickey, Trippendale, and Pluto. So for $40 in Liberty Tree Tavern, it's themed okay. They're dressed of the era, but there's no character meet and greet, so it's not really worth it. And on top of that, some of the food's good. And I mean, if you get kids in a scenario where there's dessert, they're going to assume or say it's good either way. But they didn't touch the stuffing because, again, it's stovetop stuffing. And the macaroni and cheese, they said, was just bad. So, and then the turkey was dry. You could see where the turkey was dry. It had been cut way too soon and had been left out. And I think that's what happened with the roast, was they had probably cut it too soon, so the outer sides dried out a little bit, but the inside was still moist. So that was probably a $15 meal. Even all you can eat, I wouldn't have gone above 20 per person and maybe 10 per kid, but definitely not worth it. Not $40. There's no way that's worth $40 per person. It's just, it's mediocre at best, and Disney should know better. So that's the 3 places we're going to review in this video. I've had other places we've eaten at, and I'll review those maybe in another video, but I'm going to stick it to 3 per video as we go along. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of this. If you want me to continue this as a series, whether you've had bariatric surgery, whether you're interested in weight loss, whether you're interested just in the food that they have and my opinions on them. Most of the time I try the food. Liberty Tree Tavern's the only instance where I personally haven't tried the food. I'm giving you the recollections of my wife and kids, but as the cook of the household, I know how it's made and I can tell. So again, let me know if you like this series, and I'm definitely, it's something I want to continue. If you've got any questions, if there's a specific restaurant you would like me to try and let you know if it's bariatric friendly or weight loss friendly, I'll definitely do that. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Fat Man Reviews Walt Disney World Dining. Till tomorrow.